Welcome to Lemon TV. I'm your host, Jason Rose. I'm really thrilled to have on today's episode the most important band to come out of Philadelphia. Better than the Hooters, better than Boys to Men. Need no introduction, Philly institutions. Of course, I'm talking about
Harlan Oates.
the Dead Milkmen.
This is a song about a Welsh witch.
Took a walk to Zipperhead. I met a girl there and she almost knocked me dead. Punk rock girl, please look at me. What do you see? Let's travel around the world. Just you and me, punk rock girl. I tapped her on the shoulder and said, do you have a go? She looked at me and smiled and said she did not know. Punk rock girl, give me a chance. Let's go slam dance or dress like Minnie Pearl. Just punk rock girl. We went to the Philly Pizza Company and ordered some hot tea. The waitress said, no, we only have it iced. So we jumped up on the table and shouted anarchy. And someone played a Beach Boys song on the jukebox. It was California Dreaming. So we started screaming on such a winter's day. She took me to her parents for a Sunday meal. Her father took one look at me and he began to squeal. But right now it makes no sense. You got a someone's president, which has a good girl. Yeah, you're for me, punk rock girl. To a shopping mall and laughed at all the shoppers, and security guards trailed us to a record shop. We asked for Mojo Nixon. They said, you don't work here. We said, you don't got Mojo Nixon. Then your store could use some fixing. We got into a car, away we started rolling. I asked how much you paid for this, said nothing, man, it's stolen. Punk rock girl, you look so wild. Let's have a child. Just you and me, punch banana swirl. Just you and me, we'll travel all the world. Just you and me, punk rock girl.
Like, so Punk Rock Girl. It was my gateway to the Dead Milkmen and probably a lot of other people's. The first time I heard the Dead Milkmen, it was on the Julie Brown show. The white Julie Brown. She had a show on MTV.
Uptown Julie Brown.
Yeah, and they played Punk Rock Girl, and I thought I was hallucinating. In the late 80s, like, everything was just so fucking glossy and just so much shitty music. I was like in 7th grade or something. Like, I didn't even know you guys were from Philly either. I mean, I didn't even think, it didn't occur to me you guys were from anywhere, you know, maybe you guys from space, you know. But on the other end of that, like,
yeah,
so
with those accents, we could be from London, we could be Hong Kong.
Now, see, you just talked like people. When I was in 7th grade, like, that's how people talk. But now I know it's
That's
like
right, yeah.
serious Philly accent.
Yeah, this is the American accent. We came up with the idea for America in Philadelphia. Everybody should talk this way.
Right. So what was it like on the other end of the telescope there when you're playing clubs, paying your dues, touring around, and all of a sudden, like, middle schoolers like me know who you are?
I mean, certainly more people started to come to shows, I guess.
The thing I remember most
is being asked to be on MTV for that 120-minute show, and also for the other Julie Brown, the downtown Julie Brown.
Yeah.
Club
When
MTV.
we were on tour, we got a call from our manager saying they want you on Club MTV.
I was like,
We
what?
said, well, that doesn't make any sense. And we said, just tell them no, thank you, maybe. And then
The record
a
company
couple
said,
days later,
"You will
we
do
get-
this."
You gotta
okay,
go on.
We get another.
We
will
were
not
playing in
accept no.
Washington, D.C., I think that.
Yeah, so we took the train up, did it.
We already had a gig booked. It was one of those. Well, we can't play it.
Yeah,
We
you
gotta
can
get a gig
add
booked.
anything you want in this spot.
Yeah.
Okay, just say like I remember I had to come up by helicopter
it's
because
interesting
I just donated a kidney to a starving child.
To your
Yeah.
original question, though, it is interesting that middle schoolers are still currently getting into the band. Like I have people come up to us at shows and say, I'm 60 years old and my 15-year-old loves you guys too. So yeah, we need to play more all ages shows because I think there's an appeal.
Wouldn't all ages include people who've been dead? Because I mean, there really isn't age.
They're not
We
gonna
would
play a
sell out.
cemetery.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, we do. Yeah, it's
somebody
true, right.
pointed
That
out
isn't an all
recently
ages
that
show.
Lego
I
is
sat and
like 0 to 99. They said Dick Van Dyke can't play with Legos anymore.
That's hilarious.
They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. Grandpa's not a racist. He just voted for one. Grandpa screaming something about white genocide as he crawls under the bed looking for someplace to hide. He talks a lot of bullshit when he's hitting the rough, but we know Grandpa's not a racist, he just voted for one. They're coming for his Jesus, they're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus, they're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus, they're coming for his gun. Grandpa's not a racist, he just voted for one. Last night we found Grandpa wandering the streets, whistling Dixie and wearing a white sheet. Let everybody know he won't be replaced by the Jews. And we say, oh, Grandpa, who could ever replace you? Do you know racist Grandpa? You see one every day. He wonders why there was something he's not allowed to say. Although he's the worst person under the sun, we all know Grandpa's not a racist, he just voted for one. They're coming for his Jesus, they're coming for his gun. They're coming for Jesus, they're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus, they're coming for his gun. Grandpa's not racist, he just voted for one. The winner of our guitar solo trivia contest. He won the contest, he gets the solo. They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. Grandpa's not a racist. He just voted for one. They're coming for Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for Jesus. They're coming for his gun. They're coming for his Jesus. They're coming for his gun. Grandpa's not a racist. He just voted for one. Convoy.
I was on Spotify and I noticed something weird. The number 2 song for you guys, well, number 1 obviously is Punk Rock Girl. Number 2 is I Dream of Jesus, which is kind of like a strange one because it's just like an album cut and, you know, it's on Not Richard But Dick. That was like out of print forever. And now it's your number 2 most popular song. And I was just kind of curious, do you guys have any idea why that's the case, why that song? That's a great song, don't get me wrong.
Well, you said number 2, so we can't take you seriously. Number 2.
I think Jesus is coming back in style.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And Jesus is just all right.
Just all right.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's possible. Maybe somebody thought it was like a Christian rock
dream
anthem.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, like some like super kinky Christian rock anthem, which they all are. All
I didn't
Christian
even
rock
know that.
anthems are super
Yeah.
kinky.
You've got a Methodist colored book, and you color really well. But don't color outside the lines, or God will send you to hell. 'Cause God but there's a special kind of hell for those who just won't learn to color. God is gracious, God is good, so let's color in his book. God wears cotton, God wears rayon, dead men ain't working crayon. God is not that they don't take payola, let's all make it on payola. You gotta remember this coloring book. Gotta remember this coloring book. You gotta remember this coloring book. Oh, you gotta remember this coloring book. You gotta remember this coloring book. You gotta remember this coloring book. You've got a Methodist coloring book, and you color really well. But don't color outside the lines, or God will send you to hell.
Usually when bands come on, one of the questions I usually ask is, how did this band get together? What's the origin story? And I read a little bit, I guess, like about how this all got started. But, maybe you could tell the story. It was something that, like an imaginary band that you invented that became a real band. Is that the case?
Kinda. Me and my neighbor were having fun with a tape recorder, and we just were making things up, and we did these comedy tapes. I decided I wanted to make music, funny songs and stuff. I already had this Jack Talcum character. I wanted him to infiltrate a punk rock band, so I came up with the name for the punk rock band, Dead Milkmen, and that's the backstory behind it. It got more elaborate, and my neighbor Garth added stuff to it. He became the character Pope Garth O'Neill, and eventually we made an actual album on New Year's Eve, I think 79, and Garth took it into school and let Rodney hear it. And then the next thing I know, Rodney's asking me if he wants to.
Not true. I never went to school.
So you guys went to high school together?
Yeah, and then
we went to different schools together.
I had lunch with Rodney almost every day. And Rodney came up to me while I was waiting for the bus to go home and said, "Hey, when are you gonna? I like that tape you made, So Long '70s. When are you gonna have your next recording session?" I said, "How about next weekend?" And he came over and we started making another tape.
I remember none of this. I thought I was recruited through the William Morris agency.
But eventually we became a real band.
I was going to ask Joe you a follow-up question. Wasn't Jack Talcum like a folk artist?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
That's the other part of the backstory.
Oh.
Jack Talcum Jr. is really the son of the folk artist, and he was
There
also
was a whole backstory.
Okay, right. In
There
your
was a guy
world,
who
there was a
died
folk artist named
playing the
Jack
organ,
Talcum.
and the
Okay.
song
See,
had this long
if you-
organ thing, and that was his head
I
hitting
sort of
the
compressed
organ.
a few
It was
years
very
of high school
confusing.
into one.
Sure.
Into one
Nice and
short-
concise,
But
you know.
before that, I made actual tapes of Jack Talcum Jr. And it was like a parody, my idea of a parody of folk artists. His dad was a famous folk artist, and he was following in his father's footsteps. That was one of the names of when
And we used to sit together at the same lunch table that every parent hopes their kid doesn't have to sit at. There's like the spaz lunch table, like where every kid comes by and like flips your burger over and spits in it and all that. So we had a lot of time to work on musical ideas while people were spitting in our food.
So, Dan is the new guy. He's only been in the band for about 20 years.
That's your name? Hey, Rodney. Hey, man, it's good to meet you. I never knew that.
So, I mean, maybe a lot of people watching didn't know that you and Joe actually had a history working together on several projects. So, what was the saga of you entering the Dead Milkmen?
Well, I found out where they were practicing, and I just kind of walked in, and I had the bass, and I just started playing, and they were like, "Oh, okay."
So they just rolled with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
I think Joe you probably suggested Dan since you had played with them already in low budgets.
To explain, we got asked to play after Dave died. We got asked like several months after to play a memorial benefit. We played at the Truck, but before that, we had to figure out who was going to play bass. So I already play in this band with Dan, and he's pretty good. And that's what I said. Why not him?
Thanks, Joe.
Barbershop quartet time. When Daddy drinks, let me tell you a story. What you probably heard before, but on the night I met your mother, she was all I could afford. 'Cause Daddy loves to go drinking, Daddy loves to fight, and Daddy had a real good time at the Rockabilly show last night. So here's another little story, one you're not gonna like. It's about the time your mother fell off the back of my bike. 'Cause Daddy loves to go drinking, and Daddy loves to dance, and Daddy had to walk 6 blocks home without a pair of pants. When Daddy drinks, the sun comes up and love is all around. When Daddy drinks, Mommy shuts up and the baby doesn't make a sound. When Daddy drinks, the clouds are white and you know that the skies are blue. When Daddy drinks, everything's alright and you know that the rents are due. Daddy loves his liquor from a bottle, a can, or a glass. And Daddy loves to do lines of coke off of an ornithologist's ass. So here's another little story. It's a tale of world glue. It's about the time your mother and I took a trip to the emergency room. 'Cause Daddy loves to go drinking, Daddy loves to fight, Daddy loves to tell the neighborhood just how proud he is to be white. So I tell you these stories, 'cause that's just who I am. Last night your mother ran off with a bunch of Somalians. When Daddy drinks, he's a true artiste. Yes, he's the next go guy. When Daddy drinks, he can make a fist and he can take a stand. When Daddy drinks, the world's his toy. It's there for his enjoyment. When Daddy drinks, there are no words like bail or unemployment. When Daddy drinks, the Eagles win, and you know that the Cowboys lose. When Daddy drinks, stop signs don't count. You can do what the hell you choose. When Daddy drinks, the sun comes out and love is all around. When Daddy drinks, Mommy shuts up and the baby doesn't make a sound. When Daddy drinks, his eyes light up and he is never full. 'Cause sometimes all a working man has is a 6-pack of course.
So I was curious, how does the drummer, comedian, Instagrammer John Worster fit into the Dead Milkmen story? Because of course he's name-checked in Stewart. How does he play into that world?
So John and I both grew up in Upper Bucks County.
Woo!
And he grew up in Harleysville, and I grew up in. Well, I moved to Sellersville to go to junior high and high school. I think it was a situation where my younger sister and her best friend went to some dance, and John and his friend were there, and they just met, and they were both into the same kind of like punk new wave music at the time. And then John was like, I think, starting to want to play drums. He probably was already playing drums at home. And then we started rehearsing up in Sellersville after I joined the band. We were playing in Manayunk for a while, and then on the weekends, these guys would drive up, not Dan, they would drive up to Sellersville, and we'd rehearse in my parents' basement. And John would often come over, and we did a lot of recording there, some of those early Milkmen cassettes that we put out. John would operate the tape, and also another friend, Mike Ace. That's the John Worster
would tag
connection.
John Worster,
He
tag
eventually,
along.
like I did, I mean, we both moved to Philadelphia, and he joined a band called Psychotic Norman. And then after
Well,
that...
he booked your first show, right?
Well, yeah, he's the one that booked us at our very first show at the Harleysville Youth Center.
And what was that located next to? The Harleyville Police
Yeah.
Center. Yeah.
And that's actually where I met Rodney, because I had played for a few weeks with just Dave and Joe, and Joe was singing all the songs. And I pulled up to this Harleysville Youth Center to load in, and Joe and this other guy got out of the car and was like, Joe said, "This is Rodney. He wrote a lot of the words. He's going to sing tonight." So that's how it happened.
And the rest is history.
The rest is
It's
history.
important to be in the right place at the right
But John
time.
Worster played in another band that night. Do you remember, was it Hair Club for Men or Mr. Happy? Or who was it?
It was Hair Club for Men, but it might have been Mr. Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. And, we've stayed in touch. When he plays in town, I see him all the time. So he's very funny.
Is he the entity known as Johnny Earthshoe? Is that
Yes,
him?
yes.
And then because I've seen the name on like the liner notes and stuff.
He had his
Yes.
own project called Earth Shoes for the Needy, which was a funny
Yeah. He was Johnny Earthshoe. Yeah.
recording project of his.
And oddly enough, the Earth Shoes are making a comeback, which is really scary.
Earthshoe is I'm not familiar. Was something that was on the market.
It was a type of footwear, yes.
Yes. It was the heel was
lower
lower
than
than
the
the toe because that's the way you naturally walk. And they
Jesus,
were all
that sounds
because it was the
terrible.
70s. They were all brown. You could
they
get them
were
in
always
any color you
brown.
want as long as it was
They had
brown.
the wavy,
brown suede.
Yeah.
the wavy soles.
I had a pair.
Oh, really?
I did.
But
Were
the
they
song was great. It's like
comfortable?
Earth
No.
Shoes for the needy. Come on, don't be greedy. I still have this, it plays in my head all the time.
No king rule over me. I'm not afraid of their ARPCs. They can throw me in jail, but I'll still be free. I'll be there for you if you'll be here for me. No king or queen will ever hold us down. We will not be loyal to the crown. When they build up walls, we will burn them down. We're here for now, phenomenon. So that gets built up wrong. Soon we'll be 1 billion strong. If only we could get along. No kings will rule. No kings will rule over me. No kings will rule. No kings will rule over me.
You happy now? You broke it.
I saw that you guys are booked to play Mosswood Meltdown. That seems pretty cool. You guys have played a lot of festivals.
John
You played for
Walker's
some
a
big audiences. What was the biggest gig you ever had?
I would say the biggest was back in the early 90s when we played that baseball stadium in Arizona with Mojo Nixon.
I would say the Detroit one we did not that long ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
well, yeah,
Detroit
that's
one
true,
was
too.
pretty big.
Also Fun
Fest was pretty big.
Yeah.
That was probably
But
2008.
look, if we have 20,000 people, we treat them with the same contempt we treat 200 people. A lot of Latin
rock
American
bands.
countries where they would execute people in stadiums would have us play first because then being
You're the
executed
opening
didn't
act
seem so
for
bad.
that.
They're like, please, Pinochet, kill me now. That joke is not going to go over well.
Oh, I'm leaving it, man. So I guess, all right, asked about the biggest gig. I was going to ask now, what is the weirdest gig? Because I saw the Dead Milkmen at a fetish convention.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? What was the name of that?
Twisted.
That
Twisted
was
World.
Twisted World.
Yeah.
Am I describing it right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Furries
Yeah, we had.
and
I wanted to
it
play
was.
a show
Star
with our
Wars
friends
and-
Ego Likeness.
Yeah.
And we got offered that show, and I also got to, and also that's the show where it was a convention, and that's the show where Dan Matt did how to cosplay as a our friend Dan Matt, who is our sound guy and our tour manager, road manager, is insane. And Dan, if you're watching this,
In the best way.
don't. I said I describe you, but he's really out there. And they had a room where there was supposed to be a seminar, and there wasn't a seminar. So Dan, people came in there, nobody's there. So Dan just walked in, got up, and did about 20 minutes of how to cosplay as a Southern gentleman. He's like, now when you're having a mint julep on the veranda, and a gentleman caller comes, and it's like,
I do declare.
sometimes a Southern lady is a little shy. And I'm sitting there, and I can literally feel my ribs crack. So I'm like trying to suppress the laughter. So yeah, that was
People were
a Twisted
coming into
World
the
was
room
good
saying,
for
"Oh, there's
that. Yeah.
an event in here." Oh, also, Dan Matt
wonder if they made it.
played bass at our first show.
Oh, okay. So
he was
he's been part of the gang since the beginning.
He was in the singles.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
You
He
could
should
have
have
brought
been
him.
here.
You could have brought him in.
He's
yeah.
got tons of stories.
We should have. He's
Actually, the
The better interview.
I read an article once about the band Pavement, and 90% of it was about Dan Matt. He's absolutely. If you had
He
him
was their
here,
tour manager.
everybody would be much happier. Like he does things where he'll be standing backstage, and Grace Jones will come up and go, "Can I hang out with you?" I'm like, Dan, I would just like melt if the stuff that happens to him.
He was in a canoe with Lou Reed.
what the fuck?
Yeah, he went canoeing with Lou Reed
And
and
bicycle
Laurie Anderson.
Laurie Anderson
Together.
Just like the three of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
that's-
there was one of the other crew, but and Lou Reed was in the canoe with Laurie Anderson, and Lou Reed was very competitive, and he wanted to win, paddling back to wherever they were going. And of course, this is in Florida, and there's like alligators all around.
Oh, my.
And Dan's like thinking, "Am I going to be witness to Lou Reed getting eaten by an alligator?"
And at that moment, he stood up and did his Southern.
Well, let me tell you, why do your thumbs smell so bad? Well, I'll tell you. But like that should be the beginning of a movie. There's like a record scratch, and like, how did I get here? And then they go back.
We're telling his stories.
Yeah, we're telling his stories because they're better than ours. And legally, we can't tell some of ours. Up on the hilltop where the vultures perch, that's where I'm gonna build my church. Ain't gonna be no priest, ain't gonna be no boss. Just Charles Nelson Riley, nailed to a cross. I don't miss, I don't shit, get done with me. People shaking their heads in disbelief. Go! Just me on a hilltop with 15 girls, and it doesn't find it orgies. I don't make your hair curl. Don't piss, I don't shit, get no relief. People shaking their heads in disbelief. Go! Yes, Charles Nelson Riley, he's our man. He can't heal the sick with a touch of his hand. Can't walk on the water, can't make wine flow. Just another actor on the late show. Don't piss, I don't shit, get no relief. People shaking their heads in disbelief. Go! Just me on the hilltop with 15 girls. It doesn't ride the orgy that'll make your hair curl. Don't piss, I don't shit, get no relief. People shaking their heads in disbelief. Go! Do you look like Bowser? Can you make yourself look like Bowser? We're having a Bowser look-alike contest. Everyone who comes down to the station right now and this second dressed like Bowser will get 1,500 free passes to meet Bowser, to receive the love of Bowser, to understand Greece for peace in a way that only the Dalai Lama can understand it. I remember when I was young, my parents took me to meet the Dalai Lama, and he said, "Greece for peace."
I feel like you can do a kickflip on this thing, or a heel flip.
So, We are. is the equipment working, Dan?
Yeah, I'm just pretending I'm like.
You're doing
By the
it.
equipment,
Is that an ollie?
Yeah, my equipment's working.
Dead Milkmen, you guys have been around for so long. Like in like rock band years, what is the secret to just keeping it going? You know, as a band, because your lifespan is already so much longer than like most.
I quit like every week, and then I just forget to write it down.
I think that we all write music, and then we kind of all contribute to new songs. Kind of helps that.
I think when we played in 2008, when we did down in Texas, and when we decided to start playing like more often, the decision was really smart that we would write new material instead of just being an oldies act and play the old songs over and over
and
again.
I love that, and it's good. It's like just as good. You know, it's consistent.
Found a dead body in my backyard today. It had a bad tan and was wearing a toupee. A rocket blew up, he fell out of the sky. Landed in this land where billionaires go to die. Several of his ex-wives have gathered on my porch. They haven't been this happy since the day they got divorced. His kids are laughing, tears of joy are all they cry. Playing in this land where billionaires go to die. Sometimes you find them at the bottom of the sea, all packed together like a can of smoked sardines, looking pretty stupid in a homemade submarine. Didn't have a lifeboat, oh delicious irony. Tonight we'll party, yes we'll have a good time. Living in this land where billionaires go to whistle me home, Harlan Ellison. She has a small apartment right next to the airport. She deserves someplace better, but this is all she can afford. She used to rent a house in the center of town, but there was a need for luxury living, so the city tore it down. Engine flameouts are shooting stars, make a wish on a falling gem. She'd like to just curl up and die, but she knows that the world is not done with Mayday, mayday.
Yeah, I like your single with Janitor and Babies on Fire by Brian Eno. Is there like why
Wait a minute, Brian,
why covers?
you told me that was an original. You told me you wrote that, Joe. Dan was in the room.
I thought it was a D. Edwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, why a cover song single? Why those songs? You just like those songs? Any particular story there?
Well, we love Janitor.
Constantly, when I used to watch Night Flight all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a New Wave theater where they had Suburban
Yes.
Lawns, and my wife and I would constantly yell, Suburban Lawns Janitor.
That New Wave theater thing, appearance, they had, there was like Rhino put out like a videotape of New Wave theater, and they had it at TLA Video. I loved that tape, and that's how I found out about Suburban Lawns. New Wave theater was kind of like, an inspiration for this. Style,
Public
spirit.
LA public television show, probably. Yeah.
Babies on Fire. I think we were doing that in the set at some point.
That
right?
was on 2014.
And we were covering it for some.
You covered it in the middle of. We did
Lego My Ego.
Lego My Ego, and then we would just
Think I'll listen to some early
Brian Eno and
Eno.
stop right there. We put that as the last verse and stop right there, and then go into Babies on Fire.
And then we were in the
But we were-
studio
yeah.
doing what?
We were in the studio recording Lydia, the tattooed lady, for Dr. Demento, and to warm up and get our sound levels, we decided to go through Babies on Fire, and I guess Brian, the engineer, was recording it the whole time. I don't even remember listening
That was
back
this past summer was the first time we heard
listening back to what we recorded. We just played it, and then we went on and recorded Lydia, the tattoo lady, and then we went back to do Janitor.
And Dan, you
Someone asked.
remembered recording it.
So you're just like, let's just
Someone
make this the
asked.
B-side.
Yeah, well,
this thing you
like,
just
Yeah, but
did.
we
can we
never-
listen
we
to
never
that
heard it.
again? So I said, well, that could be the B-side. So there,
Cool.
why not?
Brian McTeer sent me a very nice message saying that he wish he could be here to
Yeah.
part of the show.
He told me recently he spent like Christmas Day or Christmas Eve just watching like 5 hours of Lemon TV or something like that.
I love hearing about like where the show, the life of the show, where like who's watching.
He wants to get involved somehow, so.
Oh, dude, yeah, man, yeah. Well, he rules, so yeah, definitely. Hey, Brian McTeer.
Thank you. At this point, we usually do a tribute to Axl Rose by beating everyone unconscious and then urinating ourselves. But instead we're going to do a little song for you can. Oh wait, what are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, this would have worked well in between songs. Hey, here we go. I know. Yes. All right. I will start. Can I pass ye gate, tollkeeper?
It's like I'm wearing nothing at all.
It's like he's nude. It's like he's nude on the camera or something. This is a song by a band that more people should know about. They were led by Sue Tissue, and they're called the Suburban Lawns. All action is reaction, expansion, contraction. Manipulator. Underwater, doesn't matter. Antimatter. Nuclear reactor. Let's go boom, 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 boom. Oh, your mother, your father. I guess everything's a relative. Oh, your mother, your father. I guess everything's a relative. I'm a janitor.
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 All action is reaction, expansion, contraction. Man the manipulator. Underwater, doesn't matter. Antimatter. Nuclear reactor. Let's go boom, 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 boom. Oh, your mother, your father. I guess Alerts crowned me Little Mr. Showcase. So when we play, you will show me respect. All right, we good?
We are good.
Because I just got a letter from a Mr. Subpoena at home. I should probably look at that. I have subpoenas at me. Hi-oh, hey!
So band can take 5, and then we're going to switch things out for the interview segment.
Yeah, I forgot.
What's that?
I forgot the symbol rules between Billionaire and... it's fine.
That's, you know what?
We'll fix it in post.
It's not, it's also, it's too late to fire you and get a new guy. But this will go on your record.